take y'all on a journey, man.
Turn me up some.
Peace, world. What's up? It's your host, Freddie Lowe, and welcome to another episode of The Low Theory. Tonight, we got a very talented and special guest. You might be really familiar with his face, you might not be, but we're doing this a little bit different this time. We're live on set, and I got my guy, the super talented G-Eyez.
Hey,
He's in the building
my guy.
officially.
My guy.
Hey, thank
My
you for
guy.
pulling up, man.
Man, listen, thank you for having me, family.
Of
Yeah, thank you
course,
for having
man.
me,
We
dog.
had to do
Yeah.
something a little bit different tonight.
I see you got a different setting going on. I'm feeling, I'm feeling like LeBron out here, man. You know what I
That's
mean?
it, man. That's it. We had to up it up a notch because the
Yeah.
album is very special.
Thank you.
And we really wanted to do something special for you tonight, man. I know
Thank
we're
you.
usually on Instagram Live, guys, but this one is gonna be it's gonna be unique, man.
Yeah, thank you.
So G, let's tap right in. We're in
Yeah,
Houston
yeah.
together.
H-Town.
H-Town.
H-Town,
Let's
stand
go,
up.
man. The album dropped last year, really a couple months ago.
Yeah,
you know.
End of last, yeah.
End of last year. The title of the album is "To Know Me Is to Love Me," right? That's kind of like a very personal message, if you might, I feel like it's a personal message. So what inspired the title, and how does it reflect where you were creatively when you were making this album?
So the title, To Know Me Is to Love Me, it's really a play on words. For anybody, that gets a chance to know me as a person, I think everyone has distinguishing qualities to them, you know what I mean? And I feel like, I think that I exude the qualities of just a good person, man. And I think that it's a testament to the world that we in, where everyone feels like it's got to be a cutthroat environment. And I think it's okay to still be a good person, man.
Yeah.
And more importantly, to even go a level deeper, I think that this album, To Know Me Is to Love Me, is extremely reflective on where I'm at in my life right now.
Okay.
The growth I've experienced, the wins, the losses. It's a very great and round project around how I'm feeling right now, to give the listener an opportunity to know me, to love me, essentially. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean, you've had other albums and mixtapes before this, prior to this.
Yeah.
You felt like they didn't really know you too well, and this is the one?
Nah. I would honestly say, man, I think every project, there's a layer or multiple layers that are. Man, I think the way I make music is reflective of a specific time frame. So I think, I put this project together. Took me about two years or so, a little over 2 years.
Okay.
And so in that time, it's just a reflection of the things I experienced in that window. You know what I mean?
For sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Solid album. For those who haven't heard it, definitely
you.
make sure you guys go
Thank
and
you.
and
Thank
download the entire album for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Stream it. 14 beautiful tracks.
Thank you, family.
And out of that 14, we got 3 music videos out of that so far.
Yeah,
There were sprinkles of other things, like a kind of like a freestyle video.
Yeah.
But as far as
Yeah.
the songs itself, there's 3 songs. And how did you decide which songs deserve that visual treatment?
Well, first, it's an internal feeling. I mean, if I feel like there's a visual component that's necessary with it, that's probably the first way I make a decision. But then also, my brain trust or my circle will say, yo, this joint really got some energy to it. Or even, I've been blessed to have some really great videographers that are on the team that'll say, yo, I like the album, I got a vision to this one, or something that I didn't specifically initiate the conversation around, and just say, I got an idea for that. So I like to I like to pour water on them, on seeds, man. And if somebody has a seedling that could possibly grow to something,
Right.
I think it's important that encourage that sort of energy. You know what I mean?
For sure, for sure. Let me see. So we got Nights Like This. That's one of
Nights
the
Like
videos.
This. Yep. That's currently out right now.
Yep, currently out. It's one of
Yep.
the newer ones.
Yep.
We got Who Do You Belong To?
Yep.
And then On Your Mind.
On Your Mind. Yeah, exactly.
On Your Mind.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah,
you got
three. Would you say three different type of sounds, or what do you think?
it. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Sort of.
I think sonically, I think the message in them is very similar. I really wanted to. I think in the past, man, I've made projects that were very street friendly, and I really wanted to focus on the ladies with this project. I think that I think it's an underserved market, but also it's a win-win formula.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to be quite honest, I've always done female-friendly music, but never done it in a concentrated effort where I put out a specific project for it. And to be quite honest, man, the reaction I've gotten towards it, especially from, my female audience, this is the biggest album I've released yet today, and that is a testament to making sure that I focused on the people who actually are gonna consume the music. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, man. And a lot of people do know this, but some people might not still. They've seen previous interviews with you and me, but you're kind of based out of Houston and Cambridge at the same exact time. Now, how do you what city do you think shaped your sound more, Houston or Cambridge?
I would probably say both, man. I think from the listener's perspective, it would sound as if the East Coast formulated my sound more, just the lyricism and the content and the wordplay. So I could understand that perspective, but my argument would be my beat selection, my choruses. There's elements in there that I got from the South.
Yeah, sprinkles.
And I kind of turned it into a hybrid where I'm gonna give you some dope lyricism, but the undertone, the beat, I don't even know if I would call it an undertone. That for me, that's extremely important. The chorus is very important. Like these things for me are things that I specifically honed in Texas.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
What you like I said, you kind of went back and forth between Massachusetts and Texas, right?
Yeah.
So coming back to Houston now, what were some of the challenges that you faced musically coming back at such
That's a great
late
question.
in the game?
Yeah. No, it's a great question. So I had established and still obviously have established a really great base in Boston and really just the Northeast region as a whole. And so coming back to Houston was a different variation of that, meaning I went to school here, but I wasn't G-Eyez the artist here.
Right.
So I essentially had to start from the ground up, and I think a lot of artists would have been scared to leave the comfort of a place where they're known, a place where they have notoriety, a place where the radio's rocking with them, TVs, like I'm in a good space, in Boston, but I think that it was important for me to continue to grow. And, I'd be lying if I didn't say that there was doubt, and wondering if this was the right move, if it was going to work. Because we all like the comfort of knowing what we know, right? And versus the unknown.
Right.
But I would say the biggest hurdle was, that starting that engine again. But what it did for me though, is it provided that chip on my shoulder. I felt like at the time in my career, I needed a new target.
So you kind of felt like you were kind of a new artist.
Absolutely.
Because you
Absolutely.
already, like you said, you already kind of established in the mass market, in the Massachusetts market.
Yeah.
Coming over here, you felt like I got fresh new legs.
Yes.
Let me show.
That's what it did for me. Is it reignited that hunger again. Not just musically, because I continue to make music, but it reignited the hustle hunger, to get out there, to do the shows, to touch the people, to shake their hands, to take the pictures, that sort of grind is really what this game, is made of. And I think that it's important like I said, to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think people are still discovering what I'm doing now, but I think the difference between the previous version of G-Eyez and this version of G-Eyez is at some point I decided to take control of my own destiny. I think there was a time where I was waiting for some magic thing to happen. Because I thought, oh, the music is great. Somebody's going to discover it, or some magic thing is going to appear.
Yeah.
And over time I had to realize you have to make the magic happen, right? There's not a magic moment. It's multiple little moments that you're doing that lead to that quote unquote magic moment.
Right.
And that looks like that to them, to the viewer, to the person who sees it, like, oh, he just popped. Because I know somebody's gonna see this interview and be like, well, I never heard of dude. He looked cool. Okay, let me hear his music. And to them, that's their first time experiencing who I am.
For sure.
But I think that it's important that I continue to create these moments for that new person, for that new fan, for that new follower, to be able to listen to the music or see the interview or and just move with the movement. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. It seems like the common theme would be like just not being complacent.
Yeah, and controlling your own destiny. I think it's important that you create the narrative you want, right? You kind of the cliche, if you believe it, you can achieve it kind of thing.
For sure.
And I'm a big proponent of manifesting the moments that I would like to have happen in my life rather than waiting for it to happen.
Boom. There it is. So 2025, you had an amazing marketing rollout.
Thank you.
With the album. A lot of people seen it. What were some of the strategies or moments, during that rollout that you feel made the biggest impact, marketing wise?
Honestly, all of them, man. I think sort of like I just was said in the last question, I think that it's multiple moments. It's like a snowball effect, right? The snowball starts very small.
Yep.
It's a drop of snow, and then it piles up. And then as it rolls, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I wouldn't say that it was one specific moment. However, I will say I'd like to, send a big shout out and appreciation for all of the platforms that provided and extended, their open arms to me, man. I feel like it's important that we nurture our creatives, especially in this current stratosphere that we're in creatively.
Yeah.
I think that the creative, whether you're a musician or whether you're an actor or a producer or I think that the creative is undervalued right now. I think that streaming platforms, as beautiful as they have become, and when I say streaming, I don't just mean music. I mean Netflix is a streaming platform. I mean Disney is a streaming platform. I mean all of the streaming platforms collectively, though they've made content more accessible for us to be able to consume, they've made it disposable. And because of that, the actor isn't as appreciated. The singer, songwriter, rapper, producer, the creatives, we don't have the same level of value that we once did. You know what I'm saying? And so I tip my hat and I salute all those who did give me a platform to be able to express what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Such as yourself as well. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
And looking back, you had the listening party here in Houston.
Yep.
House of Blues in Houston.
Yep. Big shout out Loud Music. My dog Derek McKinney put that together for me.
And then you had the album release party in Cambridge, in your hometown.
Yep.
So you were kind of spreading it equally between Cambridge, Massachusetts, and Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
Great runs, man.
I did some stuff in New York as well. I want to shout out my dog Static Selector, man. Did,
yes.
Shade 4-5, man.
Shout out Static.
But so ultimately you're right though. I really wanted to focus the marketing on my dual home bases, which would obviously be Boston and Houston, because I'm trying to create that synergy between both locations, but also the awareness.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I feel like you are really like a very true hybrid artist between Massachusetts and Texas. And I say that because you have, artists like Bun B, amazing, the veteran, the legend from Houston, who does a collaboration album with Static Selector, right? That Houston-Boston collab. But Bun is not from there, right?
Yeah.
You are from both places.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you're that true hybrid artist
Yeah.
that's really making that sound and meshing both
both
sounds.
worlds. Yeah.
So
yeah.
dope, very dope.
thank
So looking back on the album now, which track
Mm-hmm.
do you feel represents you the most as an artist on this album, and why?
Man, that's a great question. And not to sound cliche, I think they all have different facets of my personality. I heard Tupac say one time that that I mean different things to different people. And essentially what he was explaining was what he was saying or meaning by that was that you might know me in under one capacity or one light, and that's your perspective of me. And the next person, and I related with that, and I'm where I'm tying the two in is that I think musically, my music is all reality based.
Okay.
And so I don't know if I could say there's one specific song, because I mean I don't make the music in that way. I make it like I would make a movie, you know.
Okay.
And I think that when you listen to the album, it plays like that because I'm trying to show you all of the different facets of my personality.
Okay. So I guess the next question would be, that's cool, but like, what's one song on the album that you wish people talked about a little bit more?
Okay.
How about that one?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think the visuals that I put out and will continue to put out have been a major focus on commercially successful sounds.
Yeah.
But I think one of what they used to call B-sides.
Yeah.
That is one of my personal favorites is the last track on the album, "See You Again."
Oof. Yeah.
That record or track
Talk about it.
is there's a certain message I'm trying to get across just about my level of commitment to the music, but there's also it's also an ode and an honor to family members that have come before me that have passed.
Exactly.
And I really wanted to be able to, I mean, in all my music, I really try to, there's personal references in everything.
Right.
And so I think that it's important that for me as a musician to be able to incorporate the music and the soul behind the music.
Absolutely.
And these people that I'm mentioning in that record contributed to the person that I am today. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah. For sure. So this run, right? This album was a little bit more unique than the previous albums that you've had. And I say that because you actually released physical copies this time around.
Yeah.
You've had some mixtapes in the past,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
did you see the J. Cole rollout? Selling CDs out the back of the trunk.
I did.
Hundreds of thousands
Yeah.
of CDs
Yeah.
he sold. He's driving across
Yeah.
the country.
Yeah.
Like you said, shaking people's hands.
Yeah. Touching the people.
Touching the people.
Yeah.
Is that something we're gonna see on another future album? You only did a limited run. You
Yeah,
did about 100 copies, I think. Sold out
limited run. Yeah,
right
limited run.
away.
Yeah,
Sold out in
yeah.
like minutes.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. What's up with the physical? Is it going to be happening again? Since that seems to be something that's coming back.
Yeah. No, it is. That's a great question, by the way. So I think that we're kind of going into a phase where the physical copy would be like what the vinyl was before.
Exactly.
Right. And now because we're in the the 2020s in terms of the years or the decades or however you would properly phrase that, what the vinyl once meant to the older generation, I think the CD means to the newer generation, because it is an older facet of music consumption, yet it's more palatable than a piece of vinyl that you have to have a record, which I know a lot of people are like, well, I didn't got a CD player in my car, but it was more of to be released as a collector's edition.
Collectors, right? Something tangible that they
Exactly.
can hold,
Something you can
that
hold
they can
on
keep.
to, open it up, kind of give you the nostalgia of opening up a case and looking at the track list and the producers and kind of giving you that nostalgic feel that I think to a degree is missing. But it's also, like you mentioned, big shout out J. Cole, man, with his current rollout, is the is the ability to have some physical to touch. And then to even touch what you were speaking on in terms of that rollout, I also appreciate the hand-to-hand rollout and what that brings, because I still feel like word of mouth is still the strongest method of marketing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And if you keep it just streaming, like what, they might look for, what do you sign? If it's just
Exactly.
streaming,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
You have to have some
Yeah.
sort of merchandise.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can't just be streaming nowadays,
Yeah.
because we all know, and everybody listening knows,
Yeah.
they're paying you a fraction of a
Yep.
penny,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So you want to create some merchandise, some shirts, some hats,
Absolutely.
some CDs,
Absolutely.
some vinyl, like you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
I think it's very necessary.
I think it's
Very necessary.
I mean, like you said, just creating additional revenue streams.
Right.
The CD is, though it might seem like a lost art, so to speak, I think it's extremely important. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
So, all right. How did the reaction from your fans compare to what you anticipated when you were creating the release? So you had this thought in your mind that the fans were going to be a certain way, but how did they show up? What was the reaction when the album finally dropped?
Man, it was a lot more than I anticipated. I think I'm still surprised at the reaction of people, because as an artist, man, I'm so protective of the music, man, and it's personal to me. You know what I mean? I don't make, like, I know I mentioned earlier that we're in a disposable creative era, but
Yeah.
I don't make disposable music.
Yeah.
So it's not. When I get ready to release it, I'm still unsure about how the people are going to react to it. So when I get great feedback, which, I mean, this is the biggest album to date for me, as I mentioned earlier, and the reactions I've got have been overwhelming, to say the least, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, overwhelming.
For
to say
sure.
the
I
least.
love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you said that, you would really want people to talk about that last track. And we talked about the music videos that have already been out.
Yep.
I heard rumors. Yeah, I don't know, because I don't really know much.
Yeah. A little birdie told you.
Right, little bird
Got
told
you,
me
Got you.
that there could possibly be some more music videos in the making from this album.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there something you could share on the Low Theory? Some sort of exclusives, or
So yeah,
maybe,
of course.
maybe not?
Yeah, no, definitely,
Okay,
definitely.
okay,
So
okay.
I just shot. Big shout out my dog Tim Ned,
Whoa.
Loud Music. Just shot a video to the track on there, Easy.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
Yeah, man, amazing. Real feel good, summertime barbecue, cookout music. Something you can play for your grandmother or for the YNs. It don't really matter. They all, it's an equal opportunity track. You know what I mean? And yeah, so I just got through shooting that visual in Houston.
Dope.
And working on another visual currently right now. I don't want to let that out the bag just yet.
Okay.
But,
Okay, that's
but yeah,
fair, that's fair.
so to answer your question,
That's fair.
there's more visuals to come. Yeah,
Okay,
there's more
okay,
visuals to
okay.
come. Yeah.
Now, what should the fans expect after this? Like, what's next, man?
Yeah. What's next?
It's been a few months since the album
Yeah,
dropped. you know?
yeah. So I'm currently working on the next project. I don't want to let the title out yet, although I do have the title.
Yeah.
But currently working on the next project. I've been back and forth to California a lot. I've been doing a lot of the recording for this album in California, specifically Los Angeles.
Dope.
And I'm really.
Yo, let me just say something
Yeah,
to the camera.
yeah.
L.A., my guys, Mike and Keys.
Ah.
Tap in, please. Okay, tap in, Mike and Keys. You need them on a project.
Yeah, man.
Let's go. You
Yeah.
got to rock with
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
their
yeah.
beats,
No, of course.
man.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Mike and Keys, Hit Boy. There's a few Alchemists. There's a few people in on the West Coast. I'm eagerly awaiting to link with.
It'll happen. Man. It'll happen.
But yeah, so the new album is coming out incredible. I feel extremely this is I feel I'm in a really good space creatively. And I think that I think this album is gonna surpass
Really?
the expectations of what people are thinking from even the last project.
Ooh.
And I think that's the beauty of of consistency. You know,
Yeah.
I think as long as you stay in the pocket, stay in the gym, so to speak, you know, it's only going to leave room to get bigger and better. And I'm looking forward to, you know, to what the people,
Yeah.
to what their reaction is over.
Is
you
the
know,
sound
over
like what? Is the sound kind of similar? Do you got any features you can name? Like what's the
the-
vibe of this new album?
I mean, it's still too early to tell,
Okay,
to be
okay.
quite honest. But yeah, I mean, I would say I would say I'm picking up where I left off with
Yeah.
with To Know Me Is to Love Me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
another thing, because I keep my ear to the ground.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
here
yeah,
and
yeah,
over
yeah,
there,
yeah,
is
yeah,
that
yeah. Keep your ear to the
there's-
street.
I have to.
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
I
yeah,
have
yeah.
to. But there's some talk about an event happening in Boston, sponsored by Mayor Wu.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
that
yeah,
all
yeah,
about?
yeah.
That's-
That's a great
that's-
question.
that's true,
Yeah,
or-
yeah. No,
okay,
there's some.
okay.
I can actually elaborate
Yo,
on
stop
that.
lying, bro.
I
Just tell
can
the
elaborate.
truth, bro.
Yeah, I can elaborate. I can
Go ahead,
elaborate. I
go
can
ahead.
elaborate. So yeah, so what I'm doing is in partnership with Mayor Wu's creative and arts culture opportunity. So I'm doing a music seminar
Okay.
this summer in Boston. Big shout out Mayor Wu. And yeah, so you know what I wanted to do, Freddie, man, is I think it's important as I grow, you know, as an artist and the notoriety for what I'm doing starts to be recognized. I think it's important that I pay it forward, right? And I think that when I was coming up, I wish that there was an artist like myself or somebody in the music space or just in entertainment space in general where I could go to get some game from, that I could reach out and touch. And so I'm gonna put together, I'm currently in the process of putting together, I should say, a music seminar where we're gonna be speaking about publishing, music making techniques, marketing, promo, financial literacy, health and wellness. You know, this is we go into that next space. So, you know, if you're a young creative rapper, singer, dancer, producer, DJ, videographer, it doesn't really matter what angle, you know, even the guy behind the scenes, if you're the manager, if you're the business owner that has artists, like,
Right.
you know, you're going to want to be at this seminar. This is going to be the biggest music seminar to touch the East Coast in quite some time, man.
Wow.
In quite some time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I'm looking forward to that, man.
We got to pay it back, man. You know, I always wish, man, that I had a version of myself at that time, you know, to be able to
Right.
give me some game. You know, it takes a long time to navigate this industry.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that if you can, you know, I kind of think of it like, you know, you go to Six Flags and the average person just waits in line, right?
Yeah.
Or if you got a little bit of, you got a couple extra dollars, you get the fast pass.
Right.
Coming to this seminar is the fast pass. You want to skip the line a little bit. You don't want to have to go through all of the trials and tribulations that I went through or my peers went through to get to this level or even beyond that. Come to the seminar, get this fast pass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So that information is going to be out soon about where they can go, like how they can copy it, like, and things
exactly.
like
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Okay.
I'm still, like I said, in the planning phases, but yeah, it'll be summer of 26 in the greater Boston area. Again, big shout out and major love to Mayor Wu, and yeah, you know, look forward to it. All the press and pub will be out soon.
Fire, man.
Yeah.
I got one last question for you, G. You know, it made me think about like your early career. A lot of people already know about the early career, but you know, when you were first coming out with the mixtapes, really, you know, on your drive just to be known, like, you know, first coming out the gate, you worked with a crew called the Rap Squad, right?
Yep.
A
Yep.
collective of individuals. One individual, Jay Cardam.
Yeah,
you
my
know,
guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
who produced a lot of records for you.
Yep. It was my whole first street album.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he was also producing for Joe Button at the time.
Yep. I mean, everybody. man.
Everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
You know, there's a
Yeah.
bunch of
Yeah.
big artists
Yeah.
who he was producing for. Like why didn't you know, with such notable, credible names under his belt and him working with you so directly and personal,
Yeah.
like why didn't you think you kind of made it to that next level back then? Like what
Man,
happened, man?
I think it's just timing. You know, I think God's timing is perfect. You know, some would argue that. I would argue that maturation takes time, and that that God's time isn't always our time. You know what I mean? And to be quite honest, man, you know, in hindsight, yeah, I thought I was ready at that time. But if we being transparent, you know, this 2020 is, you know, is hindsight is 2020 rather.
Right.
Yeah, I wasn't as ready as I thought I was. And when I say that, I don't mean musically. I mean mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. You know, there was so many other things that I and levels and places that God had to take me in order to get to that space where you know, I think, man, unfortunately, we get a lot of young stars, whether it's, you know, through acting or music, who get the light quick, and the crash out or the burnout is just as fast, right? And I think it's because they may have caught the lightning in a bottle, so to speak, but mentally they may not be, or spiritually they may not be, or there's some sort of alignment that's off, right? And it didn't mean that they didn't musically have what it took. It just means that, you know, under the lights, as they say, it's different. It's different when the lights is on. It's different. It's different. It's different when the lights is on, man. You know what I'm saying? And when the lights is on, I think it's important for you to have all of these facets in order, because the pressure that comes from the outside, the inside, the team, the circle, the critics, these things can become extremely taxing mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And if you're not prepared for that, this game gonna swallow you up. Pause.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so I say that to just, that was a long-winded answer to say it's all God's timing, and I wouldn't change a thing, man.
You wouldn't change it.
Yeah, I wouldn't change it at all.
Absolutely. You feel like right now is the time.
I think there's
working
no
out
better time than ever. And to be quite honest, I feel like I'm still growing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still reaching the level that you know, of where destiny has me to be. You know what I'm saying? And thank God, you know, we here today. You know what I'm saying? Which I mean, even just us meeting would have never been able to predict this moment.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of, you know, the what if factor is like, okay, well, what if I hit the lottery yesterday?
Right.
You know,
Right.
I'm more focused on the things I can't control versus what I can. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. G-Eyez, always a pleasure.
Thank you, family.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for jumping on.
Thank you.
Jumping on
Thank
the
you.
conversation,
Yeah.
talking about the
Yeah.
album, talking
Yeah.
about the next album.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to see what's gonna, you know, prosper
Yeah. Thank you.
in the future
Thank you.
for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, for those who don't know, where can they follow you? Where
Yeah.
can they find you?
Yeah.
How can they get your music?
Yeah, so G-Eyez Music on all platforms. That's Instagram, that's TikTok, that's YouTube, that's Facebook, that's my website.
G-Eyez with a Z.
G-E-Y-E-Z Music. You see it on the bottom of the screen. You'll see it on the credits. You know what I'm saying? I you know, my all my information is uniform and easy to find.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
So make sure you guys do that. Go follow my boy. Stream his music. Big things are happening. You don't want to miss out, seriously. And you know the Low Theory is just putting you on a game, putting you on a new artist. That's what I do.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you for jumping on. Thank you for listening. If this is on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. If this is on social, follow both of us. More to come. G-Eyez, again, always a pleasure, man. The
Thank you.
album is crazy.
The Low Theory.
The Low Theory,
Low Theory.
G-Eyez.
We out here, baby.
Peace.
Cheers.